Fasten your seatbelt on our journey in the field study 2. Be explorers, equipped with knowledge and skills, ready to explore the true scenarios in a classroom setting. Join us on our exciting journey as we delve into the fascinating world of exploration.
In this segment of our learning experience, we observe and examine several examples and formats of lesson plans, identified their parts, and even created our own lesson plan. To begin with, lesson planning is an important aspect of good teaching. It is an instructional tool for educators to use while imparting knowledge and skills to their students. A well-designed lesson plan can improve the learning experience and ensure that educational goals are accomplished.
Furthermore, Domain 4 is all about curriculum and planning. It also includes the ability of teachers to translate curricular knowledge into learning activities that are meaningful to the learners and are profounded on the principles of successful teaching and learning. This means that teacher must take a predetermined curriculum, the concept, subject, and content that must be taught, and develop specific activities or lessons to help students learn and connect with that content.
The activities should be planned in such a way that they respond to the students' interests, needs, and abilities. In other words, the teaching approaches should be appropriate for this specific set of students. Effective teaching and learning methods include clear communication, active participation, progress assessment, and the creation of a conducive learning environment. Therefore, teachers should include these elements into their teaching approaches.
There are many models or formats of lesson plans. The given samples are the 5E lesson plan, traditional lesson plan, and explicit instruction teaching model. In our group, we choose the sample lesson plan 2, follows a traditional and widely used format that provides a well-structured guide for both teachers and students. This format comprises 5 essential parts, each serving a specific purpose in ensuring effective teaching and learning. Objectives. This initial part outlines the learning outcomes the teacher aims to achieve through the lesson. It clearly states what students should have learned after the discussion. Objectives help set clear expectations for both teachers and students. Subject matter. In the second section, the subject matter of the lesson is detailed. This includes what will be taught, the teaching strategies employed, references or sources used, materials required for the lesson, and any values or ethics integration into the content. This section provides the foundational information for the lesson.
Procedure. The third part of the lesson plan outlines step-by-step procedure for teaching the lesson. It includes how the lesson will be delivered, often involving components like motivation to engage student, the lesson proper where the core content is covered, generalization to reinforce key concept, and application to help students apply what they've learned. Evaluation. The fourth part focuses on assessing students, understanding and whether they have met the stated objectives. Evaluation methods and tools are described here, enabling teachers to gauge the effectiveness of teaching and students' learning. These steps helps identify areas where further instruction or clarification may be necessary. Assignment. The final part of the lesson plan involves assigning tasks or activities for students to complete at home or independently. This assignment serves as opportunities for students to practice and reinforce what they have learned in the classroom, promoting deeper understanding and skill development.
We constructed a detailed lesson plan for a Philippine 4 class with the topic of elemental kwento. Let's break down the key components of our lesson plan. The lesson plan is based on the curriculum guide, which serves as a foundation for determining the performance and content standards that students are expected to achieve. It ensures that the lesson aligns with the broader educational goals and objectives. The lesson plan identifies the specific learning competencies related to the topic. These are the skills and knowledge that students should acquire by end of the lesson. The lesson plan formulates clear and SMART, which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound that are connected to the lesson. These objectives cover various domains such as cognitive, psychomotor, and affect.
In the subject matter part, our lesson plan discusses the materials that will be used in the lesson, including references and any values that will be integrated into the teaching to benefit the students. We will present the procedure for delivering instruction. First is the preliminary activities. These activities are designed to engage students and set the stage for the lesson. Next to it is the review. It checks if students remember and understand the previous lesson, ensuring a connection to the new material. After that, we will introduce the new topic and assess what students already know, making it a student-centered process. The lesson proper will be the next for further explanation of the lesson. Next is the generalization. To summarize the discussion, we will ask questions about the lesson, reinforcing the key takeaways.
After this, an activity is presented to allow students to apply what they've learned. These activities should be directly related to the formulated objectives. After students apply the learning, the teacher assesses their understanding by giving a quiz. This assessment helps determine if a student have grasped the lesson content and achieved the objectives. Finally, an assignment is given to further reinforce the lesson and provide the student with opportunity to practice what they've learned.
Overall, the lesson plan that we constructed is a student-centered approach, allowing students to discover the lesson themselves through discussions and activities. In essence, this lesson plan follows a structured and well-thought-out approach to teaching elemento ng kwento in Philippine form. It ensures that students not only receive information but also actively engage with the material, apply their knowledge, and are assessed to gauge their comprehension. This comprehensive approach aims to enhance the learning experience and achieve the desired educational outcomes.
After the first draft of our lesson plan, it is important to consult this with our instructor or cooperating teacher for us to know what are the needs to improve and hear some valuable suggestions to be applied in the revised lesson plan. It has become essential that we regularly review and revise our lesson plan in order to make sure that the material and methods we use are meeting the needs of our students. It will help us make sure that the lessons we teach are in line with the goals of the curriculum and the standards set by the school. Maintaining progress is our ability to captivate and inform students will improve as we develop our way of teaching. We can better incorporate these changes by revising our lesson plans with the help of expertise teachers.
Writing a lesson plan is indeed a challenge to educators. There are numerous factors to consider while creating an effective lesson plan. The diversity of learners, backgrounds, and different learning styles and unique needs. As a future teachers, we have to think carefully and consider various of aspects to ensure an effective and engaging learning experience for our students. In fact, we encountered multiple challenges when we were writing our lesson plan. We pondered how we are going to execute our goals in a manner that our students will have fun while learning. We have to be smart, so is our lesson. That's when we remembered the importance of SMART. Our lesson should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Once we have formulated our objectives, the next challenge will finding activities that would be aligned with them. This was no easy task. No experience is indeed experienced by every pre-service teachers, as one of the pre-service teachers shared they also struggled if their objectives and lesson planning would be effective. They added that encouraging the students to participate in the lesson is also important.
Engaging and interactive features in lesson plans are critical for attracting students' attention and encouraging active learning. We have to think creatively to come up with engaging activities that would help students reach the stated objectives. According to De Leon 2023, choosing an appropriate activity or motivation to use in class when planning a lesson is somewhat challenging. Lastly, the challenge of designing an evaluation. It was crucial, and we have to ensure that the evaluation effectively measured what retained to the students during the duration of the lesson. It should also be aligning with the objectives. According to previous pre-service teachers, one of the difficulties that they have encountered when designing their lesson plan was finding the perfect timing in lesson planning, adding that one of the factors that made lesson planning challenging was their mood. If they were in a good mood, they are able to create a creative lesson plan, while not being in a mood made them unmotivated in creating a lesson plan. No ideas nor concepts popping in their minds, just like the previous pre-service teachers. We also struggle in creating a lesson plan based on their experiences. Ultimately, the challenges we encountered when writing our lesson plan are common in the teaching process. Overcoming these challenges required careful planning, creative thinking, and a deep understanding of the objectives and the needs of the students. We have learned that effective lesson planning is a skill that improves with experience and practice. It's a process of continuous refinement where we become better at setting clear objectives, designing relevant activities, and creating meaningful evaluations as I gain more experience in the real life of education. Remember, a well-structured lesson plan not only benefits the students but also provides you, the educator, with a clear path to follow, making the teaching process more effective and enjoyable.
This whole experience is challenging yet essential. We learn how important lesson plan is in teaching and how lesson plan will make teaching smooth and easy. Crafting a lesson plan is like designing a blueprint for a successful learning journey. We learn about different lesson plans and their parts, observe and describe each, and we also experience writing our own lesson plan. We realize how vital is the role of a teacher in the learning process of a student's education. That teachers are not just conveyors of information, they are facilitators of growth, mentors, and guides.
Lesson planning, it doesn't have to be always perfect. Feedbacks or suggestions are the indicators to improve our lesson plan. Feedback can highlight which teaching strategies are effective and which may need modification. Knowledge of lesson planning, then, is without any doubt the backbone of teacher training. Actively seeking and utilizing feedback is a sign of a reflective and growth-oriented educator. It allows teachers to continually refine their teaching skills and improve their lesson planning practices. Remember, no lesson plan is perfect, and the ability to accept and integrate feedback is a sign of dedicated and effective teacher. It's an ongoing process of learning and refining, and ultimately leads to more effective teaching and enhanced student learning experiences. Inez de Florio quoted that students engage in learning when two conditions are fulfilled. The goals, standards, or objectives must be of value for them, but it is not sufficient that they attribute personal value to the goal. They must be convinced that they can reach it.
Call you 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, I can't wait no more.